and Bart Conner at the World Gymnastics Championships.
For the people who reside in Southwest Germany, life is pretty much the same as it was centuries ago. A conscious effort has gone into retaining old world charm, and open-air markets still flourish. Industry has made predictable inroads, but not at the expense of old-fashioned customs. It is in this setting that the world's best gymnasts have gathered in the spirit of friendship and competition. From Stuttgart, West Germany, it's the World Gymnastics Championships. Today, the men's all-around competition. Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Adamle, along with one of the great names in American gymnastics history, Olympic champion Bart Conner. And Bart, the theme of this year's World Championships might very well be something old, something new.
Well, there's no question that the old story relates to the Soviet dominance of this competition. They have owned the gold medal in this competition for the last decade. Now, in this competition tonight, we have Vladimir Artyomov, Igor Korobchinsky, and Valentin Mogilny, European champions, Olympic champions, and even world champions. If they're not consistent, however, there could be some room for Li Chungyang from China and Andreas Wecker from East Germany.
And the new scoring system where past performances mean nothing.
That's right. In the past, the gymnasts carry their preliminary scores into this round. Everybody starts from zero here, so if a gymnast is not consistent, they could be bounced right out of contention. It's going to be very exciting.
So we may not see a changing of the guard necessarily. In fact, when you speak of the Soviet dominance, you have to go way back to 1974 to find the last non-Soviet winner of a men's all-around title. The men will compete in 6 different apparatus. The best cumulative scores will determine who wins the gold, silver, and bronze medal. This is Vladimir Artyomov of the Soviet Union.
Oh, and right off the bat, a big step on the landing there and a step out of bounds. That'll be a major deduction. Now, Mike, I can't emphasize enough how these new rules are really changing the mindset for this particular competition. Under the past rules, the all-around champion is determined over 18 exercises. Under the new rules, just the 6 exercises in today's competition will go into the final score. So a mistake like Artyomov had in his first run can be very critical. He seems a little shaky, a little nervous, not right on. That's a very shaky start for the Olympic champion. Now, in the first event, you're certainly wired. You have plenty of energy. He does a beautiful laid-out double back, has a little more juice than he planned for. And, of course, that'll be about 2 to 3/10 of a point deduction.
Artyomov was the Olympic silver medalist in the floor exercise, but his score there, 9.60, so he starts off at a big disadvantage. This is Li Jing of China, competing on the pommel horse.
The current style on pommel horse is to do the flared moves as you travel across the horse on the leather. Li Jing does this as well as anyone. He has very good form. Good toe point and clean extension of the legs. Once again, his flares are very exciting and certainly are going to be impressive to the judges. This is a good opportunity to see him travel across the horse. Notice he's using the leather. He's not using the pommels. That takes a tremendous amount of elevation over the horse.
And Li Jing's effort on the pommel horse earns a 9.85, so he's in the lead for the moment. Next up, his countryman, Li Chungyang, in the still rings.
And Li Chungyang, in the optional portion of the team competition, was terrific. And keep in mind, he'll be doing the same exercises that he did in the earlier round, but he has to hit them today if he hopes to medal. There's a press to a handstand. That's a requirement. This is called an inverted iron cross, and he's not at all low enough in that position. The judges need to see the shoulder level a little bit lower into the rings. That will be a deduction. His swinging elements are terrific, though. Full twisting double layout, one short hop on the landing, but a very big dismount.
The Chinese men finished 4th in the team competition last year at the Olympics. By their standards, a very poor showing, but led by Li Jing and Li Chunyang, the Chinese men are back. Doing very well here at the World Championships. This is Igor Korobchinsky of the Soviet Union. Last year at the European Championships, he was the all-around titleist.
And he really seems to be the favorite of coach Leonid Arkayev. Arkayev calls him the model of the current world-class gymnast. He does very high level of difficulty in all of his exercises. And he still has excellent technique and form. Very clean start for Korobchinsky. Now, it's important on this single leg work that Korobchinsky not brush the horse too hard. You'll see his leg hit the horse on those scissors. Just about every gymnast does it. The judges rarely take the deduction unless it's really obvious. But what a finish. A beautiful handstand pirouette. Nice start for Korobchinsky.
And the mark for Igor, 9.90. So after the first rotation, Igor Korobchinsky and Li Jing of China are 1-2. 4 men are tied for 3rd.
They say drink.
We made close comfortable. And by Sinex Ultrafine Mist, the nasal spray that goes up and stays up.
The second rotation of the men's all-around championships about to get underway. This is Li Jing of China on the still rings.
The rings event has gone through some very dramatic transitions over the last several years. Originally, it was sort of a Muscle Beach strength routine. Then for a while, the judges required more swing elements. Now the judges are moving back towards a requirement of higher level of strength difficulty in the routine. There's one of those strength moves. That's an inverted iron cross. And here's one of the swing elements. Great combination. Straight arm, straight leg press to handstand. It's important that those arms are locked out. And a very big dismount.
Li Jing, 19 years old, from the province of Hunan. And just watching his performance, it's quite obvious that power is a very important part of the still rings and all of gymnastics. Here's Bart with more on that subject.
When you consider that the typical world-class male gymnast is about 5'6" and 135 pounds, with their strength to weight ratio, gymnasts rank among the strongest athletes in the world. For you fitness buffs at home, nothing to a set of chin-ups, right? How about trying it like this? Everyone has to have strong stomach muscles. Sit-ups, no problem. How about a V-up? Or even a V-seat? Push-ups are a part of most athletes' training regimen. Someday, for a change, try them in a handstand. Or if you're really strong, how about push-ups in a planche position? Pound for pound, gymnasts are some of the strongest athletes in the world. Believe me now?
Bart, I believe I tried to whip off 50 in the conventional manner this morning, and my biceps still ache. This is Valentin Mogilny of the Soviet Union on the pommel horse. He was tied for 9th after the first rotation. And part of a wonderful Soviet love story. He is married to Olga Bicharova, who was the all-around world champion in 1981. And they're proud parents of a brand new baby boy.
Well, if there's any event where Valentin can move up in the rankings here in the all-around competition, it's on pommel horse. This is the most difficult routine being done in the world today. Watch him slash those flares as he travels across the horse.
Wow, that is impressive, Bart.
Excellent form and rhythm. Mike, that's how you do it.
Mogilny was a world champion on the pommel horse in 1985, but last year he wasn't even good enough to make the Soviet Olympic team. That's just how deep their talent is.
And what's so amazing to me is this level of difficulty. Some guys can do it in practice, but very few gymnasts have the guts to risk this in competition.
And it appeared that Mogilny left caution to the wind there. The question now, did it pay off in the eyes of the judges? And there you see it. It has a perfect 10 for Valentin Mogilny. Now another man who was not a member of the Soviet Olympic team in 1988, Igor Korobchinsky, who was first after the first rotation. Now on the still rings.
There's a beautiful opening strength combination, a back roll to an iron cross. Now Korobchinsky is only 19 years old, and if there's one area where the young gymnast has trouble, it's with the strength on the rings. I think his strength is only adequate. Although that cross looks very good, it's very difficult for him to do. Notice he's having a little trouble struggling, pressing to that handstand. But his swing work is beautiful.
The standings after 2 rotations, that perfect 10 by Valentin Mogilny on the pommel horse has moved him into first place. Igor Korobchinsky's 9.75 has moved him into second. Next up on the rings, former world champion Valentin Mogilny, who once again figures prominently in the plans of coach Leonid Arkayev, the architect of the powerful Soviet program.
The Soviets have elevated gymnastics to a science. Their prototype of a future male star is very specific. 7-year-old boy, 3 feet 10, 40 pounds, and of course, fearless. Valentin Mogilny, a product of that system, trains here at the Red Army Sports Club with a very unlikely coach, his wife, Olga Bicherova. She also grew up within the Soviet gymnastics program. In 1981 in Moscow, the determined 15-year-old realized the dream of all young Soviet gymnasts. With her performance here on the uneven bars and her focus and competitive spirit, she won the world all-around gold medal. Then in December of '87, the 2 world champions were married. Valentin, winner of 2 world championship titles in '85, was devastated, however, in '87 and in '88 when he was not selected for the world or Olympic team because of his lack of consistency. It was Olga who wouldn't let him give up.
When I failed to make the world and Olympics teams, I was terribly disappointed. I wanted to retire and never return to the sport. But my wife literally made me to come back to gymnastics. Since then, we have changed my programs, and I have been very successful. She is a very special woman, and I love her intelligence and her character.
Now, even with 6-month-old Alexei, Olga continues to coach Valentin. She's made him a more focused competitor and is thought of as the major influence on his comeback.
To say I am the major influence is too strong. We were lucky to find mutual understanding from the beginning. That helps not only our family, but it is necessary between a coach and athlete. We are lucky to have found such understanding, both in family and in work.
And now the Mogilnys seem to have it all. Like father, like son? Maybe like mother, like son.
Well, one thing's for certain, Bart. Should young Alexei Mogilny choose to become a gymnast, he has 2 great role models to show him the way. This is his dad in first place after the 2nd rotation.
Now remember, he's coming off a 10 on the pommel horse. That, of course, his best event. Rings is actually one of the weaker events for Mogilny. He has a great style in his swing elements, but he has a problem with the strength moves. Right here, that's called an inverted iron cross. He needs to be much lower to get the full credit from the judges. Of course, the best part of this routine is the swing. Look at the extension and the locked out arm positions. This will be impressive to the judges. And he rocks that landing.
Very solid dismount for Valentin Mogilny. Now his teammate is up next, Igor Korobchinsky, competing in the vault. 2nd after the 2nd rotation.
Korobczynski holds nothing back. The whole meet for him is going to be right here on this triple front. And he makes it. I can't believe he went for that move. It's actually 3 flips, the handspring here, and then a double front after. The landing is blind. You don't even see the ground until you're on it.
Igor needed a 9.95 to move in front of his teammate Valentin Mogilny, and there it is, a perfect 10. So the Soviet men are 1-2 at this point. Now we turn our attention to Li Jing of China, third after the second rotation.
Now, Li Jing is doing a whole new style of vault taken from women's gymnastics. This is the Yurchenko vault. This is the first time we've seen a male do it in a world championship. Sticks the landing. This is very exciting to see this new style of vaulting. It's opening up doors for men in gymnastics. This round off onto the board, back handspring onto the horse, and back with a full was invented by Natalia Yurchenko from the Soviet Union.
Li Jing's mark, 9.80. He moves into third place, and after 3 rotations, Igor Korobczynski, on the strength of his 10 in the vault, has taken over first place. Mogilny and Archimov both recorded 9.85s in the still rings. We'll return later with more of the World Gymnastics Championships.